It consists in a sentiment which leads an individual to identify himself with the good of others, whereby the good of others becomes to him a thing naturally and necessarily to be attended to like any of the physical conditions of our existence. Fraternity, according to him, is essentially an attitude of respect and reverence towards fellow men, to achieve equality and justice. He made frantic efforts to get socioeconomic safeguards to the downtrodden people and submitted a memorandum to the first roundtable conference held in London. The memorandum included several justified and valid points to build a modern and just society. However, he was doubtful about the just society and convinced that mere political equality will not be enough for the welfare of shelters and the marginalized. In fact, socioeconomic equality was needed for them. Therefore, while participating in the Constituent Assembly debates, he observed on the 26th of January, 1950, "We are going to enter into a life of contradictions. In politics we will have equality, and in social and economic life we will have inequality. In politics we will be recognizing the principles of one man on a vote, and one vote one value. In our social and economic life we shall, by reason of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principles of one man one value." How long shall we continue to deny equality in our social and economic life? If we continue to deny it for long, we will do so only by putting our political democracy in peril. We must remove this contradiction at the earliest possible moment, or else those who suffer from inequality will blow up the structure of democracy which this Constituent Assembly has so laboriously built up. Ambedkar, therefore, to ensure social justice, persuaded the Constituent Assembly ideal society to incorporate provisions in the Constitution itself. Accordingly, under Articles 14, 18, the right to equality, untouchability were been declared an offense. As a result of his relentless fight for social justice for the downtrodden people, several provisions for protection of the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, women, and minorities were incorporated in the Constitution. Recognizing means to realize an ideal society. It is, however, not impossible to bring into reality the ideal society depicted by Ambedkar. This could be recognized by the following ways. First, it is necessary to do away with the caste-ridden social order. Ambedkar says that reason and morality are the two most powerful weapons in armory of a reformer. They should be put to use. It is necessary to destroy the belief in the sanctity of the Shastras, and to make every man and woman free from the thraldom of the Shastras. Then they would be willingly ready to interdine and intermarry. Second, Ambedkar suggested accepting the scheme of state socialism, in which agricultural land and key industries would be nationalized. Neither there would be forced labor nor dependency. State socialism ensures one man, one value. As such, every individual would lead his life with dignity. Third, he advocated that the political structure should be such that everyone would be able to get an equal share in power. All the people would enjoy their fundamental rights and fulfill their obligations. Untouchability would be abolished and its practice would be an offense punishable by law. Fourth, restructuring of the society, socially, economically and politically, could be done not by bloody revolution, but by constitutional means. He contemplated solving all the problems within the framework of the Constitution. In totality, Ambedkar visualized an integrated society in which there is love for all and malice towards none. He prefers Buddhism as an example of ideal society which constitutes the required principles for man to live a good and happy life. Buddhism an example of ideal society. Ambedkar thought that Buddhism met the criterion of a religion which has a social vision, scientific outlook, provided solutions to the problems of the deprived millions, upheld equality and individual freedom, and emphasized love and compassion. He was interested not only in a casteless religion but in an ideal, scientific religion and society. He found it in Buddhism. In his article Buddha and the Future of His Religion, he conceives of religion as a force which governs society through morality. There he states 3 requirements which a religion should fulfill. It must be in accord with science, it must recognize the fundamental tenets of liberty, equality and fraternity, and it must not sanctify and ennoble poverty. The preceding discussion has explained Ambedkar's notion of justice, just society and ideal society, which is based on the principles of equality, liberty and fraternity. It was suggested that Ambedkar's notion of ideal society was embedded in Buddhism. The foregoing discussion makes it clear that Ambedkar thought Buddhism to be perfectly consistent with modern liberal democratic philosophy. According to Ambedkar, democracy was not a form of government, it was essentially a form of society. It may not be necessary for a democratic society to be marked by unity, by community of purpose, by loyalty to public ends, and by mutuality of sympathy. But it does unmistakably involve two things. The first is an attitude of mind, an attitude of respect and equality towards their fellows. The second is a social organization free from rigid social barriers.